It's my privilege to welcome you all for this video session. So here I am here to discuss about the refined sugar which causes the diabetics. So we are going to discuss about the diabetics risk factors and then the diabetic complications, which is normally we are aware of it. The risk factors such as like it can be a overweight or high blood pressure or high level of cholesterol or genetics of the family history will be of into diabetics a risk factor. When we are talking about the complications, it is going to affect the eyes, it is going to affect the heart, kidney, the blood vessels, and then the feet particularly. So this one of the main cause of the diabetics is the refined sugar. The sugar which is originally extracted from the sugarcane juice, which we are aware of it, it is true. That is the first chemically refined and granulated crystallized sugar appeared in the scenario in India about like 2005 years ago. That was about 485 BC during the Gupta Empire. From there, the technique is spread across East China and then the west towards the Persia and then uh, Islamic was eventually reaching the Mediterranean in 13th century of AD. But though it is refined sugar is not an ultra refined, but as it is now, the technique was not related to the lower class. Even the evidence in the evidence from Malapadi that is in 1968 suggested that they described of the color of jaggery in Malapadi was a dark brown or a black, which means that unrefined. It is because it contains of the materials or the minerals like phosphorus, potassium, calcium, iron, magnesium, as well as the vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin B1, B2, B5, and then B6 and E. These are that is why the diabetics called the disease of the rich people. Unrefined sugarcane, which has a content called a glycemic index of 41, which is refined into a white sugar of glycemic index of becomes 70. When the sugar is refined into a white sugar, the index becomes 70. This is thought that Indians to this is the who thought the Indians to ultra refine the sugar into a white sugar. It is because by the uh, British people when they are here, the refined sugar, they refined it. They thought us sugar into a refined one, and then the other nutrients, the sugars as mentioned above, are stripped off. It is taken up from the sugar, and it becomes a poison. So it was an advertisement given that the Indian media that unrefined jaggery is full of dirt, rat pop, or the garbage or unhygienic. That is the poison for better. So it is all poison. So better to use the white sugar because the Indian were made fools by the companies who are handling the sugars to eat the sugar, and thus the Indians were forced to become on diabetics. So the problem is not with the carbohydrates of sugar or with the Indian genes, but outside the influence people like I mean the British people who had made us Indian as an diabetics patients. Now the research proves that the refined sugars such as the white sugar, highly polished sugar rices like Sona Musuri, chocolates, candies, and all the bakery items, cool drinks such as Coke, uh, and so all called health drinks like Boost, Ensure, Pediasure, and Horlicks, which is made up of chemical called melatoxin. So melatoxin is a white starchy powder that manufacturers add into the many food items to improve the flavor, the thickness of, and then to improve the shelf life. It is a powder which is relatively tasteless and dissolves in water easily. It is an additive. It is in a wide range of foods. It can improve the texture, the flavor, and improve the shelf life. So it is possible to make this melatonin food dextrine from the any starch food, including corn, potato, wheat, tapioca, uh, or rice. Although the powder comes from the natural products, it is then undergoes processing, hence causes diabetics. So the melatoxin has no nutritional value as per the National Center of Biotechnology information, U.S. National Library of Medicine. This melatoxin have a strong impact of post indigestion, blood glucose, and then the insulin level is get increased and as well as the lipid level. So those changes, these markers have been linked with the potential health risk, especially in the vulnerable individuals and causes the diabetics. The tea time biscuits which we are having made up of refined sugars and emulsifiers. The preservatives used in these foods, cakes, and ice creams, too much carbohydrates diets demand that causes the inflammation inside the arteries, causing the heart disease and the chronic diseases. Even though the eminent cardiologist Dr. Stephen Sintra says the real cause of the heart disease, even back then, was a inflammation. It is not a cholesterol like what everybody believes. It is really an inflammation. The pharmaceutical companies knew the research that refined sugar is on demand, and then it causes the metabolic diseases, but it is not discussed or thought even in the medical colleges. No allopathic doctors will dare to open this mouth then when may show the finger that the bodies and the genetics has its own fault. The pharmaceutical companies knew that if the people started to consume more fat and the proteins and less carbohydrates in their diet, many of the diseases like diabetics and the heart attack will disappear in instant. It becomes less, but doing so, no money for the health sector. They will not able to make the money, and the pharmaceutical industries thus allowed to like to stay in the medical fields that the fat is the bad, so that they were fooled us and they were trying to make the money out of this. They made trillions of dollars from the thin air. So they were all keeping us deliberately sick to make their business to sell their drugs and the equipments. As the Israel Medical Equipment Company named Dario is the business partner for the American Diabetic Association. Now we are ready to learn how to tackle the problem without much spending money and self-caring and awareness by this multinational companies such as US and the European food and agriculture based companies entered into an organic foods business to sell the good products at the higher price and created other deadly viral diseases like corona and the other recombinant DNA technology to make the people sick and make money more out of it. So people, I request you all to be aware what to take as an intake. Try to avoid the refined sugars and then be a healthy lifestyle. Thank you. Thank you very much.